I am not a Spyro veteran. In fact, you could probably call me a new gen, because I was introduced to Spyro through a wallet's worst nightmare.
Yes, father. Bumble Blast is a necessity.
That said, I do own a PS1, and Spyro 3 is the only game I have for it. But I've never gone past the second level. Although, a few years ago, after I'd played the Insane trilogy of Crash, I found out about Spyro fully and picked up the Reignited trilogy. But I basically didn't play that either, so let's fix it. Putting the game up on Switch 2 straight away gets us the Activision intro and the choppiest logo I've ever seen. What the fuck? Oh no, that's not good. I now get the choice between Spleen the Dragon 1, Spleen the Dragon 2 I Ripped My Toe, and Spleen the Dragon 3 Lunar New Year sometimes. I gotta go chronologically, so starting Spyro 1, we see a news broadcast where they call Nasty Nork
Ugly. Ugly?
ugly. He says chicken, nobody calls me chicken, turns them all to stone and runs away. All except Spyro because he's too short to be turned to stone because he's that irrelevant. Also, all of their treasure is gone, so the game follows Spyro going through various levels and portals to collect the treasure and free the frozen dragons. Spyro's main moveset throughout all three games consists of a glide, a flame attack, and a charge, with various things being added in the later games. His health is indicated by Sparks the Dragonfly, this dragon. Hell, I can't speak. He changes color based on how many hits you have left, and when you've only got one left, he disappears. You have to kill random critters around the world to form butterflies that he eats to gain his health back. This game, being the first, obviously sets the foundation for the series, with three main level types throughout it. You have flight levels where you are constantly flying in the air and have to do a range of collectibles or challenges in order to gain treasure. The normal levels, which are big landscapes full of treasure and frozen dragons and just challenges to explore and glide around and parkour. Basically, all of these levels have a unique environment and the theme music's pretty damn good as well. It is a very unique atmosphere in a Spyro game, and their forest levels are top-notch as a certified forest enjoyer. Even though this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life ever. Because this is fucking ridiculous. Look at this, look at this. What in the fuck is that? And of course, you have boss levels. Once you've collected enough, you can go through beat a boss. In this first game, there are 6 main worlds with several levels in them. There's only one boss per world and one flight level per world. And the final world, Nork Nexus, has very few levels. Overall, I actually really enjoy Spyro 1. It's pretty simple in the way it's set out. You find your dragons just stationary around, and you collect your treasure. There's no major hoopla, no excessive dialogue to really go through. Not that dialogue is bad in the slightest. I do enjoy dialogue. But for Spyro, I think it works best when you're just looking. They do like to switch up the gameplay sometimes as well, with power-up gates you can find that will give you things like a stronger flame, or in the future, flight and different types of attacks, expanding Spyro's movesets in little ways that are still Spyro. Now, I do definitely have my gripes with this game. The flight levels are not the best for me, and the bosses are pretty lackluster, especially with how anticlimactic the final boss is of Nasty Nork. You have this build up the whole game, and he's got this power to simply freeze dragons. He's able to whip up armies of enemies on a whim to help him out. All of this despite being ugly. He's this big orc overlord. He's ugly. Yet, once you go through all of these levels of varying difficulty, various enemy styles, various powers, you're greeted with a boss where all you have to do really is chase down a key guy, chase down another key guy, and chase down him. He dies very quickly, very pathetically, and very weakly, and the fact that in a final boss, the thing you have to worry about more than the actual enemy is the road is a problem. But I am able to look past it a bit because I do think that this is the best in the trilogy. Yeah, that's right, I'm one of those. I like the theming, I like the platforming, I like the collectibles, that's all I need. And I happen to be under the impression that the next two games unnecessarily complicate it. Spyro 2, look, there's DOS of them. How do you segue from the happy ending of saving the Dragon World to a sequel? Oh, well, it's easy. Spyro wants to go on holiday through a portal to Dragon's Shores. Oops, recalibrated. He ends up in this world. He's now face to face with Dr. Egad, It's Great, and the girl from Skylanders Swap Force.
You rely too much on maps and machines to find your way.
Oh, she seems to know what she's doing. The problem. Professor's portal doesn't work because he's missing the orbs. The reason for the problem. Angry red man trying to take over. The solution. Send Spyro to all of the worlds to get souvenirs from all the different races in every level and then go on an orb fetch quest doing missions for random NPCs as minigames to get orbs. Because there's nothing I love in my collectathon platformer than not doing collectathon platforming because I'm doing minigames for NPCs that I've just met for orbs. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit. It makes sense for the next evolution of Spyro to be adding more to do in these worlds. You can still find the odd orb scattered around, and having multiple main quests for the game is nice. Now you have treasure, orbs, and talismans at the start. It starts you off by just telling you to go and get the talismans, and then later on makes the orbs top priority, encouraging you to go and revisit old levels that you might have gone through a bit too quickly earlier on. And while I'm aware that objectively adding this kind of thing is good and it does pad out the environments, it wasn't really what I was looking for in terms of a Spyro sequel. If I were to do something with a sequel, it would just be more levels and more environments, although I'm sure hardware restrictions added to the reason that we got what we did. Spyro isn't even necessarily one of my top platformers. It's a very good game and I do enjoy the basic style throughout it, but I liked exploring levels and finding the dragon statues, finding the treasure, not finding an NPC and doing a random quest for them to get the collectible. The power-ups that I mentioned before are back, the flame attacks are back, the flying is back, and even the flying levels are back, even though I don't like them. Now, that's obviously not all bad. There are some good additions. You have swimming now in the game, and climbing, these abilities you find throughout the game in the hub worlds. But here comes another downgrade. Spyro 1 has 36 levels, Spyro 2 has 29, and instead of 6 worlds, there's only 3. So you're telling me I get less levels, less variety of the environments that I find these levels in, and more tedious missions to do inside of it? Because this one was tedious. That said, the environments that are here are really nice, and one of my favorite things about this game is the boss fights are actually difficult and are actually good. See, the angry red guy from the start, Ripto, has these 2 dinosaur goons, and at the end of both worlds you have a fight against them, with this second one being really challenging actually. This is a 100% upgrade from Spyro 1 and something that I did enjoy, even though I was getting frustrated at the time because of how much I was dying. Hey, look at that, I defeated him. That's right, I defeated. So it's not all doom and gloom. I can see what Spyro 2 did right objectively, and I can agree that it did add more to each level. The game is much longer than Spyro 1 is, because you have to spend more time in each level exploring and looking around. The only problem that I personally have is the type of exploring in Spyro 2 is different to the exploring in Spyro 1 and not in a way that I like. Not to say that I dislike it specifically, I just preferred what was going on in Spyro 1. I love the environments in this game. The side quests, while not being my favorite thing, have some real good funny moments, like look at the skeleton go. The abilities you gain add so much more to the core basics of Spyro, and it is still a good time from start to finish, with your abilities allowing a lot of extra liberty in terms of level design and the environments, which are, again, top notch. I don't want to come across like a negative Nancy. I do enjoy this game, and I enjoy the whole series, and I'm sure I just maybe wasn't in the right mindset while playing to make the most out of all 3 games. Even Crash took multiple playthrough attempts to click with me and never clicked with me on Switch, only ever on PlayStation. I need to pick up the Reignited trilogy on PlayStation and give it a shot in the future. I can tell you what I didn't like, and I have, and I can tell you what I did like, and I have, and I enjoyed even the final boss of this game, which sees you face off against Small Man Syndrome by collecting up the abilities that he drops around and turning them right back on him, even when he takes to the skies. Once he's gone, the world is free from his clutches, and everyone is happy. Spyro can finally get his holiday. Well, where'd he come from? There's Trois. I don't like this one, and it looks like he knows it. The dragons are all asleep, leaving their eggs unattended. This lady pops up and tries to steal them all for her leader, this dragon thing. What's her motive? She just wants to kill all the dragons. But oh no, the holes are too small. You have to send Spyro through because the big one's hurt. This land is losing its magic and no dragons have lived here for a very long time. But we have to stop the evil plot. Go through the hub worlds, go through the levels, and collect the eggs. You see, this game does some things that I like and some things that I don't like, but the things I don't like really do irritate me. They brought back the dragon eggs just laying around like the statues from the first game. There's a decent chunk of them that you just find by reaching hard to spot areas or by finding them around the map, and I like that. That's cool, I enjoy that. But they also decided to bring back the quests, the side quests, the missions within the missions, which, yeah, I kind of expected them to be back, but that doesn't mean I have to like them. The worst offender, the worst offender. This fat f*** is Moneybags, and he was introduced in the last game to make you fork over money for pathways.
Oi mate, do you have a license for that pavement?
And now he works for the main villain, keeping friendly faces in cages and willing to release them or pretend he's not looking if we pay outrageous numbers while he literally laughs at us just like a real billionaire. And then, as a reward, you get to play levels and find eggs in a level where you play as the person that you just paid to free, which sounds really cool if they didn't all control like what. Now, some of the gameplay changes were really creative. The skateboarding is a little tedious, but it can be fun and it's a nice change of pace. And the flying levels are back with a new coat of paint that I much prefer. Finding all of the collectibles tends to be easier and is not the main task, not the only task, as you can also do a race in each of the flying levels against some NPCs, allowing you to master turns and get the right boosts to end up with more eggs. I like this system where instead of just going in, flying around and doing useless stuff, you actually have some targets to go for and you get eggs, not just money. The game does have more worlds. It has 4, and it has more levels technically than Spyro 1 if you count levels that are unlocked post-game and through collectibles, which I didn't really end up doing. So no Sparks levels for me, I don't even know what they are. But so far it sounds like they've taken everything that I like from Spyro 1 and put it back while toning down and fine-tuning things from Spyro 2. Which would be the case if this is what they did instead of then taking the other character levels and basically smearing shit all over the product. Now look, loads of people love the variety, but it's not for me. I think Sheila, while having cool verticality themed levels, is so slow. Sergeant Bird is the worst controlling character I've ever played in any game ever. The Yeti's pretty cool, and the monkey with a gun is just irrelevant. And somehow, the game is even longer, which personally just feels like padding to me, and not the good padding that protects my plastic garbage. In the average main playthrough, you still end up playing less levels than the first game, and yet it is nearly double the length. All this extra room just to add Sergeant Bird. Now, let me give my praise. The boss fights, they're really good again. The environments are absolutely amazing. The missions are a lot more bearable than they were in Spyro 2, at least in my mind. The characters are a lot better. I quite like Bianca, and I think she works well with Hunter, even though throughout the main game she don't want him, he's just goonin'. But something just felt off about this game, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. But there's just something going on that I don't like in this game, and it's really hard to put my finger on it. I can sing so many praises about what I like about the game and what I think is genuinely good, but no matter what I say, I still can't shake the feeling that it just isn't the best. I'm in the minority. I know that so many people think this is the pinnacle, but quite frankly, after beating the really good final boss, albeit an easy one, and getting the happy ending, I was just kind of glad it was over. And I promise I don't like being negative all the time. I blame him.